Today we are talking about what to do when struggling with a caregiving problem that you just don't know how to solve. I'm Pamela D Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. On there, a lot of hope, help, and support for caregivers. When you're struggling to solve an issue in caregiving or in a relationship with an aging parent or a spouse or brothers and sisters, and you've been trying to solve this issue for a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months, or even a year, the thing to ask yourself is, what is the option that you haven't considered? Sometimes this can be a little difficult if you've been struggling for a while because we can get too close to a situation, so close sometimes that we really can't see outside of it, and we can't see that there are other solutions because sometimes we're so stuck on the way that we think or the way that we solve problems or the way that we believe situations should be or the way that we believe situations should work out that we don't look on the outside. And then in problem solving, if something happened that wasn't expected or that you didn't want to happen, the question to ask yourself on that one is, how do I avoid this from happening again? What didn't I know? What should I know in the future? What might I do in the future to prevent this? And the idea of problem solving sometimes comes down to creating situations that help us solve that problem. And I'll share an example of this. I spoke to a caregiver last week who said, "Oh my gosh, everyone is interfering in the care of my parent. My nephew got involved in something and didn't tell me he was going to try to buy something for my mom that he thought would be very helpful, but he didn't tell me. And my best friend, she keeps sending me information about the care community where my mom lives and things that are going on there as if I wouldn't know. And she says she's doing it because she's trying to be helpful." And then my sister, oh my gosh, my sister tries to get involved with this. So what do we think the problem is here? Is it a caregiver wanting to control a situation with a parent so much that he or she doesn't want anyone else involved, but yet complains when no one helps? How might the situation be looked at from a very different perspective to solve the problem of what's going on? Many caregivers complain that they don't receive any help. This situation alone has a caregiver and 3 other people who are trying to be helpful and trying to be involved, maybe not in the way the caregiver wants, but how could the caregiver change the aspects of this situation so that it was a solution instead of a problem? This is so many times where caregivers and we as humans get stuck trying to solve problems in any aspect of our life. For caregivers, there is a lot of help on my website. I have helped so many families over the years solve a lot of difficult caregiving situations. And because of my experience, because I have worked with caregivers, with parents in end-of-life situations and situations where there's a lot of illness, and I've managed care in hospitals and nursing homes and assisted living communities and at home, I have a lot of experience and I know what caregivers go through. I was a caregiver myself for my parents who passed away. Finding solutions, looking at problems differently, can truly change your care situation if you find someone who cares enough to help you and who understands enough about the healthcare system and all of the systems and the complexities that you as a caregiver have to work through. Help is on my website, in my online courses, my elder care consultations. You can talk to me separately. In my weekly podcast, my library, and a lot of other helpful information. Please share my website, PamelaDWilson.com, with other people you know. There's a lot of hope, help, and support there for caregivers and aging adults.